Hi, this is Yadav, and I'm going today to present to you all about waste. So, the first chapter, we are going to read about why waste is the problem, how waste hurt the environment, about different types of waste and how much we create, how to avoid, reuse, recycle, how to choose products that creates less waste, why recycling alone won't fix our waste problems, what can you do to reduce waste, how to save money by avoiding waste. So what is waste? When asked what waste is, most people say things like useless or worthless garbage or stuff to be thrown away. But a lot what we put into our rubbish bins is not useless at all. It's just that we use things once and then throw them away. We throw waste away, but where is away? Usually, away means into our bins, which are picked up by the local council, and then the waste is buried in the local rubbish tip. A lot of things we throw away could easily be used again. We all create waste when we go shopping and accept all those plastic bags at the checkout rather than taking our own string bags or baskets. We put a bunch of bananas into a plastic bag, a bag that we don't really need. We buy meat that is packed in foam trays and plastic. We thoughtlessly throw something in the bin rather than thinking about whether it could be reused, recycled, or composted. We overuse resources to produce goods, use more than we need, mix materials together in the garbage bin so they can't be recycled or reused. For example, mixing newspaper and food scrap spoils the newspaper for recycling. Wasteful thinking. Our attitudes to waste are shown in the words we use to describe it. Think about the word we use: refuse, garbage, trash, scrap, rubbish. These words make waste seem useless, dirty, or unhealthy. Ask yourself, what do you think about waste? Are you concerned about waste? Or is it someone else's responsibility? Whose responsibility is it? What do your neighbors think about waste? What about your friends, family, and workmates? As earth workers, you will have the chance to influence how other people think about waste. Your own attitudes will probably change as you read on. It's not only the amount of waste we create, but also what sort of waste it is. Many household items such as cleaners and insect sprays contain toxic substances that can harm our health as well as the environment. Why is waste a problem? For many years, people just threw away things they didn't want anymore. But with increasing amount of waste per person and bigger population, we can no longer afford to do this. How waste kept growing. In recent years, more and more useful material has been thrown away. We are running out of places to dispose all of that waste. At the same time, people have made it clear they don't want to live next door to landfills. Suddenly, when faced with plans for new tips, people have become concerned about the waste of resources and the impacts of waste on the environment and their quality of life. Now we realize waste is everybody's problem and therefore everyone's responsibility. As we have become more industrialized, we have created more waste. How waste disposal can harm the environment. When waste is sent to landfill, it doesn't just magically go away. It sits there for years, sometimes for generations, and create more waste in the form of gas and water. Gas from landfill. Smells like rotten eggs. It can also contain poisonous chemicals that can damage the environment unless it is managed properly. Liquid waste. Water and other liquids that pass through the landfill form another liquid known as leachate. What will we leave to our kids? Landfills can go on creating gas and liquid waste for 20 to 30 years after they have closed. Our wasteful ways means less natural resource, less forest are left for our kids to enjoy. Other words used to describe a landfill are rubbish tip, garbage dump, waste management center. Waste cost. What we put in our garbage bin is collected and then transported to the local tip. When we do this, we are throwing useful material away, throwing money away. Most of the waste in your garbage bin, including plastic, food scraps, paper and cardboard, can be used again, recycled, composted or fed to worm farm. But instead of seeing these things as resources, we use them once and toss them away. Then someone else takes them away and buries them. This is not good for our wallets nor for our planet. We all pay for waste disposal. In Australia, it costs us millions of dollars a year to collect and dispose all of our waste. It also costs us money to try to fix the damage waste disposal can do to our environment. And in the long term, we all pay the cost of using too many raw materials for creating more and more things. How much waste do we create? Since the 1990s, Australians have been throwing away about 10 million tons of waste each year. Where does waste come from? There are three main sources of waste. These are household waste. Every Australian creates nearly half a ton of household waste each year. Household waste makes up to almost half of the solid waste created in this country each year. Commercial waste and industrial waste. Industrial waste comes from offices, factories, shops and hospitals. Every year we generate over 350 kilograms of waste for every person in Australia. Building and demolition waste. The building and construction and demolition industry creates well over a quarter of all solid waste. This includes concrete, timber, metals, and other assorted waste. So how much domestic waste do we create? So basically 11% would be other stuff, 3% of them would be metals, 6% plastics, 5% glass, 19% would be paper and cardboard, and 56% would be food scraps and garden waste. Two important forms of waste found at home in commerce, industry, building and demolition are green waste. Green waste comes from the garden and the kitchen. It's stuff like grass clipping, leaves, tree pruning, wood packaging, wood cut-offs, fruits and vegetable scraps. Green waste makes up to a third of the total waste in the New South Wales. Most green waste is created by households. Poisonous and dangerous waste. These make up a very small amount of solid waste, but they are a real concern because they can make people sick and can pollute the environment. Some common items like car and other batteries contain heavy metals such as mercury, lead and cadmium, which are poisonous and can cause brain injury in children. Paint, solvents, lubricant oils, and even household cleaners contain toxins that can damage our health and our environment. This type of waste should never be put into the rubbish bin or poured down sinks or drains. Your council collects them separately. Transfer stations and rubbish tips accept some dangerous household waste. Your council can tell you where your nearest disposal facility is and what it collects. How the waste in your bin gets to the rubbish tip. Step 1. Sort your waste for collection. Step 2. You put your rubbish out for collection. Step 3. Your council collects your waste for the rubbish bin. Step 4. In some city council, the council truck leaves your waste at the transfer station for transport to the rubbish tip. And step 5. Waste is taken to the rubbish tip. How can you avoid making waste? If you want to reduce waste, you need to ARR. ARR stands for Avoid, Reuse, Recycle. The best way to reduce waste is to avoid making it the first place. The next best strategy to reuse whatever you can. And finally, it is important to recycle everything that you can. 1. Avoid. If we use fewer products now, there will be less waste later. 2. Reuse. It makes more sense to simply reuse an existing product than to spend the time and energy recycling it. 3. Recycle. The materials in a used product are broken down and used to make something new. What happens to a product if we don't avoid, reuse, recycle? The life cycle of a glass bottle includes resource extraction, mining the sand, soda and limestone needed to make glass, and then transporting these minerals to the factory. Production, making the glass by melting these materials, which uses a lot of electricity or gas. Consumption, the glass is then filled and shipped to the retailer and then onto you, the consumer. Disposal, after all this, you use the contents of the bottle and you are faced with the choice of how to dispose it. Landfill, if you haven't put your bottle out for recycling, it will end up at the rubbish tip. So here are some practical ways you can avoid making waste. Don't just buy. Think. By not buying things we can live without, we reduce the amount we waste and save money too. Before you buy anything, think about if you can avoid buying it. Ask yourself, do I really need it? Can I make do with a smaller amount? Will it last? Can it be maintained, repaired or restored as it gets older? Is there a simpler, less wasteful alternative? Is it overpackaged? Is there another product with less packaging? What are the environmental impacts of my buying this product? These questions challenge us to think about our buying and using habits. Do I think before consuming? Or do I just buy for the sake of buying? Or am I just in the habit of buying these things? Then think about reusing the item. Ask yourself, just because I no longer need it, does it have to become waste? Can I sell it or pass it on to someone else who could use it? Could I donate it to charity op shop? Can I buy it secondhand? If you are about to buy something new, such as a washing machine, can I repair or restore it? Is there a long-lasting or reusable alternative to throwaway items? For example, buying a battery recharger set, carrying a thermos cup with a lid rather than buying coffee in polystyrene cups, using lunch boxes rather than plastic and tin foils. Then think about recycling. Ask yourself, is it made from recycled materials? Is there a recycling collection system for it in my area? Can the item be recycled easily, or are the materials mixed and therefore difficult to separate? Closed loop versus open loop recycling. Closed loop recycling. The best type of recycling is called closed loop because it doesn't need as many new raw materials. For example, a closed loop recycling system enables a used green glass bottle to be recycled into a new green glass bottle. Open loop recycling is when the materials from one type of product are used to make a different product. For example, Recycling plastic bottles into plastic drainage pipe. Open loop recycling is often called reprocessing or downcycling. What does recyclable mean? If the word recyclable is printed on something you are about to buy, it does not mean it can always be recycled. It depends where you live. Recycling simply means that it is possible to recycle the material. It does not necessarily mean it is practical or easy to recycle it. The most common materials that our household can recycle are glass, aluminium, paper, plastic soft drink bottles, food and garden waste, steel cans, scrap metal, cooking or car oil. Check with your local council. Problems with recycling. Most people think recycling helps our environment and have taken it up as a way of life. However, recycling is not the only answer to all our waste problems. Here's why. Contamination. To make new products from old, the material must be clean and contain only one specific material. For example, if an old plate is crushed up with glass, which is going to be recycled into bottles, the crushed plates will cause faults in the glass and the bottles will not form properly. Lack of markets. Sometimes there is a lot of recycled materials around and not enough businesses wanting to buy it. This means that it may not be recycled. High cost. Recycling is not free. The cost of collecting, transporting, and recycling is often higher than the price of recycled goods can be sold for. Saving money by reducing waste. You'll be surprised at how much money you can save as well as reducing your waste. Here are some examples. Most toilet cleaners do little more than change the color of the loo water and cost you money. Small individual packets of chips can cost up to 44% more than the same amount sold in large packets. Salt sold in recycled cardboard is much cheaper than salt sold in plastic. A 125-gram plastic bottle of salt costs more than 500 grams of salt in cardboard box. Tea sold in tea bags can cost up to twice as much as they are sold in bulk. You can also buy your coffee freshly grounded from your own container. Foods like rice, potatoes, sugar, and fruit bought in bulk can save money and reduce waste. Cleaners can be bought in refill packs, avoiding waste and saving money. Waste saving case study. Case study 1. Nappies. When you think about which type of nappy to use, remember, nappy wash services cost about the same as disposable nappies. New easy-to-use fasteners and fitted closed nappies make cloth nappies easier to use than they used to be. Washing cloth nappies at home is often the cheapest option. One baby can use up to 6,000 disposable nappies. If you decide to use cloth nappies, there are two environmentally friendly ways of washing them. Scrape off solids, rinse in water, and soak in bicarbonate soda. Then wash in pure soap, rinse with a little of vinegar, and dry in the sun. 2. Scrape off solid, rinse in water, and soak in nappy soak powder. Then rinse in cold water before drying them in the sun. If you find that you have to use disposable sometimes, don't worry, just try to use as few as possible. It is important to consider the environmental cost of water, electricity, and washing powder, as well as the benefits of avoiding waste. Each cotton nappy can be used hundreds of times and then reused as a rag. Case Study 2. Green cleaning. To avoid waste and save money, you can use simple cleaning agents such as bicarbonate of soda, vinegar, eucalyptus oil, washing soda, cloud ammonia. Most household cleaning can be done with a few simple ingredients. Bicarbonate of soda, also known as baking soda, vinegar, washing soda, pew soap. Environmentally friendly recipes for cleaners. For a general purpose cleaner, mix 2 teaspoons of bicarbonate of soda with 1 teaspoon of soap in 1/4 liter of water. Add 2 teaspoons of vinegar or washing soda to cut grease. Clean bathroom and kitchen surface with pure soap and bicarbonate. Apply with a firm brush. If you want to make your house smell good while you clean, put a few drops of eucalyptus or lavender oil in a bucket of water while you mop, or put a few drops into your vacuum cleaner bag. If possible, tip wastewater from your cleaning onto grass rather than down the drain, and remember that dust from the vacuum cleaner bag can go into your compost heap. Many common items such as cleaners, pesticides, herbicides, batteries, paints, varnishes, oil, and solvents are toxic. They can make people sick and damage the environment. Avoid buying them whenever you can, and never put these things in the garbage or wash them down the sink. Your council collects them.